Hello everyone, it's me, Chaff Commander Coffee, back with another episode of Shogun 2 Total War Master of Strategy. So I went over the other videos. For some reason my OBS was messing with the sound, so it was a little bit on the quiet side. Should be solved now. Fingers crossed anyway, because just hearing me talk with like this occasional slight sound of what's going on in the background is not quite as good as it should be. But I don't know why the OBS was cutting the sound down to like 25% of what it should have been. So hopefully that's fixed. We'll find out at the end of this episode, I guess. I've done some testing, it sounds fine to me. So anyway, the last thing that we did was we beat the Daihuji, who declared war on us, and we now own their town. Well, we don't own their town, we own them. They're our vassal now. Vassals are actually pretty good in Master of Strategy. The honour matters a lot more on your daimyo, which is currently in Minato Castle. So our daimyo is currently on maximum honour, which is really helpful for the plus... is it only plus? Yeah, +2 to public order from daimyo honour, and our diplomacy, we get a +10 for our daimyo's honour as well. +20 for certain clans. Some clans obviously they care more about our daimyo's honour than others. However, the world doesn't really like us, which is a bit of a problem. But that's due to, what is it? Growing alliances, which will change over time, because we're not going to make any more allies. At this stage of the game, it's really not going to do us any good making allies. Right, so we've got a few things we need to do. Our army's more or less ready to march on Kakunodate Castle and attack the Tozawa clan. And then our only real opponent after that is going to be the Nanbu. Possibly Waisugi could declare war on us, which is why I'm a little bit skeptical about immediately moving away from my homeland. But I'm sure we can figure something out. Now, we do actually want to build up our lands a bit more, because what happened was we vassalized the Daihuji. We were sieging their castle, they had no men, and as part of the peace deal, they gave us about 33,000 gold, which is a huge amount of gold, and we need to spend that as quickly as possible, and that means building up all of our towns. So Nobusawa Castle here is going to be turned into a samurai village. Yamagata Castle is going to be turned into a urban town. Minato Castle is also going to be turned into a samurai village. Hiyama Castle is going to be turned into... now it has got a harbour. I could turn it into a samurai town as well, to get me a military port and focus more on that. But not too fussed about that, so I was thinking about turning it into farmers. So yeah, I think I'll turn this town into farmers. Now we can also build roads pretty much everywhere as well, because we've got quite large, very long territories, so roads are going to make a big difference. In our samurai towns, I'd like to build pastures, which won't give us any food is the only problem, so I need to build up everywhere else's food sources first. So this is going to be a farming town, so we can build this up to improved irrigation. Toko Castle, we can knock this down and turn that into a lumber mill. I wouldn't mind building sake rice farms somewhere, but I need crafts to do that. We can't quite upgrade our crafts just yet. So let's build irrigation there. I think in Minato Castle... Now we could build hunter's tents, which improves the accuracy of the units trained there. But I think we're going to do that in Nobusawa Castle, since that's closer to the borders. We're going to also build a lumber camp. Minato Castle's going to build a lumber camp, and then we've spent basically all of our gold. Now, if all goes well, in about 4 turns, our empire is going to be pretty strong, because we'll have level 2 castles everywhere thanks to the amount of gold that we managed to pilfer off of the Daihuji. And our armies are quite powerful as well, so I think we're in a really good spot, to be honest. So let's end the turn. So yeah, we're focusing on a bit of economic expansion, thanks to that large influx of gold from our new vassal. And our vassal's army should keep Uesugi off of our borders, and they'll also act as reinforcements if the Date decide to turncoat on us. So our ambitions for conquering Japan can be realised because of that. Honestly, money can be one of the hardest things to get a hold of in Master of Strategy. You have to... Oh, Hatano have broken their trade. And we have a disgruntled vassal. Let's acknowledge his efforts and give him 1,000 gold. That does cost our entire turn's worth of upkeep, really, but I think it's probably worth it. So the Hatano we can no longer trade with. But we aren't given the option of another trade route. I guess their ports must be being blocked. Not to worry. Let's get this army back to Nobusawa Castle. We can't recruit any more men, but we've got a few more on recruit anyway. We're going to have the option of training a lot more troops as well with all these new towns. More samurai, more Ashigaru, possibly even more warrior monks, but probably not. Anyway, the food situation is a little bit dicey, I won't lie. The improved irrigation will help. I don't think we're going to cost ourselves any food by building the hunter's cabin, but it's not going to give us any extra food, which we need to make sure we keep an eye on. I think after getting Artisan's Guild, we're probably going to go for advanced weapons, and we may even go for one of the expertises, either ranged or polearm, which would give us access to some special samurai units. Or we could go for basic logistics, which is just generally pretty good. Oh. No, I've got a better idea. We grab, because we're going to want to build dojos in our new castles. We're going to grab war horses, which is only a 2-turn technology, but it allows us to start training cavalry. If you don't have the war horses tech, you can't train cavalry. And yeah, we want cavalry. We need more cavalry in our armies, because if we can train more cavalry, we can then put some cavalry in our forces, and then we can use more generals, and then thus have more armies wandering around the map. Which is, the sooner you can get more armies, the better. Because let's be honest, every single clan we've been up against so far has 2-stack armies. They've got their main army with their retainers and their Ashigaru, and then they have a second army full of militia. Now, if we want to beat them decisively, so we're not wasting time, we need to be able to declare war and beat them in 1 turn. Otherwise, we'll be left behind. So, right, now we can level up some of our workshops. We do want a goods crafts workshop. I think we want to build that in Hiyama Castle first, because this is going to be a farmer's town, which means that the unrest from it being larger is not going to be a problem. But then again, I do want to keep building up the capital because it's in a nice defensive spot. So maybe we'll build it here. Yeah, and Yamagata Castle has this the Diwa-Sanzen Shrine, which gives it a lot of extra happiness and unrest reduction. So that's quite nice for keeping the popularity up quite high. Right, so we've recruited as many men as we can now. I think those archers that are about to be built will get the extra accuracy from the hunting grounds. That's one of the advantages of building the hunting grounds. Also, how fast? 15 turns till they're replenished. Right, and if I move them back to Yamagata, I think they'll replenish faster. Yeah, 3 turns. Because the province has the option of training those units, they replenish a lot quicker by being in that province, as opposed to another one. Our retainer army is almost finished, replenishing its numbers, which is good. We've still got some time we need to spend just building up, so let's end the turn. We'll have a few turns of economic construction with our newfound wealth. It might even be worth vassalizing the Tozawa, taking their money, and then fighting the Nanbu. Because we're going to have to fight the Nanbu anyway. I don't like having vassals in the middle of my lands, because when the War for Japan starts, the actual Sengoku starts, all your vassals will break off and declare war on you. So So I'd rather have vassals in places which are on my borders, so I can have armies ready to both capture them and then move past them and fight other clans. So we have urban migration, prosperity or agrarian toll. We're going to go for prosperity. I really like boosting up that town wealth, and now we're going to get a +8 to our town wealth at the end of the turn. And our taxes are currently very low, or on low. I could increase them, to be honest, but the income is not massive right now. I could even reduce them, but I still need some money coming in. I think we'll put them on normal, actually. Yeah, we can afford to, so we should. The extra income will be incredibly helpful for getting a few more buildings constructed. Don't really care about the roads there. We don't have enough money to build a blacksmith. I do want a blacksmith. It does increase the melee attack for samurai and non-Ashgaru in the province, which means generally you want a blacksmith in a province that you're actually training proper units. But I generally want to build the blacksmith not in a province that trains units, simply because if I can get a camp and a dojo, I can get very quick recruitment and upkeep of, or recruitment and extra morale and that sort of thing for samurai a bit sooner. Whereas if I build a blacksmith, I have to wait until I get my 3rd building slot to do that, which is obviously even further away. So we've got 1,400 gold in the bank, and we're just going to hold on to it, I think. Okay, so those archers are now done. Oh, they didn't get the accuracy upgrade, which is a bit of a shame, but never mind. Next turn, we're going to be able to train like another 8 units of Ashgaru, and we haven't even touched our samurai yet. And if you remember, when I picked the Mogami clan, the Mogami have special samurai infantry that have higher armor values than standard samurai. So we haven't even gotten to our the units we want to have in our armies. We haven't even got there yet, but we will soon enough. That's no worries. So I think this episode will just prepare for our war with Tozawa. So we've got Warhorse Mastery. I'm not bothered by textile techniques just yet. I'm not bothered by intensive mining either. Yeah, I think we're going to go for... None of those help too much. I mean, the defense for units and ammunition's alright, but... No, let's go for basic logistics. That'll help let us build our camps up a bit larger. I wouldn't mind getting some of these. I mean, I don't really care about Way of the Sea. Tea Ceremony's okay, Ninjutsu's okay, but I don't really have access to the buildings that would make use of those. Probably Secret Police, actually. I might go for basic logistics and Secret Police, because Secret Police is just... Look at that, it's just lots of good stuff. Extra tax, less unrest, more loyalty on your generals, extra repression across the map, cost recruit units and upkeep goes down. It's just a bit of everything. It's just good. It's just good. But right now we can build lots of new buildings because all of our towns have been leveled up. Now, I won't be able to build all these buildings at once because the game Master of Strategy blocks you from building 2 of the same level 1 buildings in your empire at any one point. You're not allowed to do that. So I have to be careful what I pick. I think what we want to do is Minato Castle wants to build a dojo because it's a samurai village. Which means, because I want to build a dojo here, I can't build a dojo here. You see what I mean? I can't do both. At the same time, like I couldn't get a level 1 dojo being built here and a level 1 dojo being built there. It's not allowed. We want a construction site over here. And I think we'll build a shrine here because we do have access to higher level additional monks. So I think that would be a good idea to build a shrine and just capitalize on monk recruitment in Yamagata. And I think over in, let's see, Toko Castle can level up the Yuya, which will reduce the unrest a bit further. And we've still got some money. I could train again. Oh, I haven't got access to any more Ashgaru, even though the urban towns have been built up. I will have a lot more access to samurai, though, mind you. I will have a lot more access to samurai. I think I want this to be a pastures. because this can be for training archery units, and then this could be for training cavalry. If this has got a pastures and this has got a hunting ground, so I could train my archers here and my cavalry up here. So yeah, I think that's good. And what do I want to build here? This is a farming town, so it's a bit more expensive to build things, but maybe we'll want to build a marketplace. Or I could build something that reduces unrest a bit further. Unrest is a problem in these northern provinces. Can we get any more trade with anybody? It looks like we can open up trade with 2 more clans, the Hatano or the Akamatsu. I'm going to try the Akamatsu this time, because the Hatano broke our trade agreement. Probably because they lost their port and recaptured it, but let's do that. So making 1,400 gold every month, which is good. It's very hard to make large amounts of coin if you want to field an army. You could always, like, I've played as the Oda a bit, and you can, like, as the Oda, they've got lots of fertile land, so you can, like, hunker down, just do loads of cheat X, and just get your economy, like, booming, like 4,000 gold a turn, and then build an army. But the thing is, by the time you finish building your armies, you still have, like, 2,000 gold a turn, so it's not really worth it, because you're just wasting a lot of money you can't use. Right. I just got to decide if I want to build the shrine right now. It might actually be worth building an elder's house, because that increases the rate at which you master arts and also gives me Metsuke, which I would like to get. And as you level it up, you can get Metsuke also improve income of towns that they oversee, so I think that's probably worth it. Hiyama Castle's having some public order problems, so let's move some Ashigari back there and see if that solves that. That does solve that problem, but the unrest is increasing. So I need to build something that reduces unrest, which would be the Yuya. So let's build the Yuya, because that's going to reduce unrest. And that will also help reduce the unrest in Toko Castle as well, because these are both going to be economic towns, so them feeding unrest reduction off of each other is going to be quite helpful. We can't build the dojo there yet, so we're not going to worry about that. We'll just save up our coin for another turn. Apparently we're going to be running out of food. -1 predicted. We're going to lose 1 food from that, we're going to lose 1 food from this. We're going to lose food from the Elder's house as well. Ah. Right. In that case, we need to build up our farms first. We're going to have to build our farms up first. Let's see. Now, I could build the fields here again, but I like the lumber because it just makes a lot more money. Now we need access to stone to be able to build up terrace farming, so we also need the next agricultural technology, which is water distribution there. That does provide more food though, so that might be the next thing we go for, but we do need to actually research expert builders as well. Now there's lots of research that needs to be done. I think we'll just hold off on building that Elder's house. It's not totally necessary right now. I'd much rather get samurai in my armies than worry about getting a few elders. A few Metsuke. Metsuke might improve my income, but they don't help me win wars, so... the public order is becoming a problem up here. I think what I want to do is I want to move... Let's move a couple more Yari Ashigari to Hiyama Castle. And we'll also move a couple of units of Yumis, and we'll move those Yumis into Toko Castle. That way it will keep them under control, and we can train some samurai once the dojo's finished anyway. Now, what we can see of the rest of Japan is that none of the clans have really taken over anywhere in particular. Mori's quite powerful. Uesugi already starts very powerful, and it looks like the Honganji have taken land from the Hatakeyama in the north there. We also encountered the Satake, which we'll worry about later. They're not on our hit list right now. Alright, let's get that dojo built up. So we can't recruit any new units yet, but we do have access to all the retainers if we need to re-recruit the retainers. Let's get this Yuya built up. Does that consume 2 food? No, it only consumes 1. Okay, that's fine. Okay. And then our logistics will be finished next turn. Let's end the turn. So as you can see, Master of Strategy is a bit more slow-paced than the original Shogun 2. I could be more aggressive, to be honest. Like, I could probably beat the Tozawa clan already, but if my army's weak and then the Nanbu decide to go to war with me, then they'll probably just smash my army, and then it just snowballs out of control at that point. Ten food, wealth generated by farms, or town growth and happiness. Oh, well, we're going to distribute that surplus, get that town growth rolling. Alright, let's move these archers up to Tokyo Castle. Unrest is still increasing because of the tax rate. I might have to just drop the taxes because the unrest is not going down. Right, let's drop the taxes down to low. That should reverse the unrest. If I had Metsuke and things, that would also solve that problem. And we need to get access to stone somehow, because that would give us better farms. But that also requires a bit of technology to get to. I think we'll grab Secret Police. That's a very good technology, so we'll grab that. And that'll help our economy. It'll help our stability. Is that the Tokugawa in the south there? I think the Tokugawa have actually managed to kick off and kill the Imagawa. Or it's either the Imagawa killed the Tokugawa, it's one or the other. Normally Tokugawa are like the first clan to go in every Shogun 2 game, because they just can't beat the Oda. There's Winter. Encountered some more clans, Shimazu and Tokugawa. Yeah, that is Tokugawa. They're pretty powerful. They actually like us as well, which is curious. Yeah, Mastery of the Arts plus 80, but I think that's because the Tokugawa have a massive diplomatic relations bonus with other clans as well. Right, so now we should have access to... Ah, no, we need to build that up into a proper samurai hall before we can train actual samurai. Yeah, you gotta invest a lot of time in being able to build samurai. Now, I could build a samurai encampment, which would... it would consume more food though, which I can't really afford right now, so we won't bother doing that just yet. We do need to save up. I could upgrade this traders into a market, but that's going to increase unrest even further. It does allow me to train Ronin. Now Ronin are actually pretty good. Everybody gets access to Ronin in Master of Strategy. You just have to build markets, which is an interesting way to play the game, because Ronin are quite good units. I don't think they're as good as Samurai anymore, but they do have slightly larger unit numbers. So Ronin tend to be a bit better against Ashigaru and that sort of thing. So you can actually play a pretty hard economic game and still defend yourself. You just use Ronin. They're a lot more expensive than normal Samurai, mind you, so there is that. I don't want to build food stores there. Let's see. I want to get this lumber camp as well. We're going to need some more cash. More cash means, well, we're going to need to build our army up. What does this army need most of? We've got a decent front line. We do need a couple more range units, I think. Maybe we build some. We could build some samurai archers, but I'd have to build them down here. So I think, well, it never hurts to have more melee units. So I think once we get a samurai hall, we'll just build some katana samurai or something. All these Yamabushi are. I could just move the Yamabushi up here, to be honest. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So they could actually fit the Yamabushi in there. And they are very good units. Let's move the Yamabushi up to Minato Castle. And we'll have our Ashigaru army in the south here to defend the lands. And I think with the Yamabushi we could take out Tozawa clan. I'm just wondering if I want to fight them in the field or if I want to defend my town. Well, I wouldn't mind fighting them in the field, actually. I can't build any of those buildings yet because we don't have enough food. I think if we build up the farming village, does that? It doesn't provide any. It does provide more food if we get a town of farmers, so that helps as well. What is Kakunadate Castle? It's got a samurai hall and a traders. It's also a large village of samurai. Oh, they have a sake rice farm though, which is pretty good. That provides like a crap ton of sake which you can sell. You can only build one, as far as I'm aware. Is that fertile land? I can't tell. I think it will be fertile land, so that's probably a good spot for it. But I'll probably knock down the hall there. I don't really want to, but I might not have the food to be able to support another large town. So I'll probably have to build the rice paddies up over here first. Maybe I'll do that with the money we get from this coming turn. So we'll just prepare our armies for the war with Tozawa. It looks like the Honganji just took another province from the Uesugi. I think I'm probably pronouncing all these names wrong, just so you guys know. If you're gonna spam stuff in the comments, like it's actually pronounced. You're quite welcome to. I might end up pronouncing all the clan names correctly, but is it I don't know if it's Uesugi, Uesugi, or who knows. The Emperor has commissioned the construction of a new palace. The old ways gives happiness and wealth generated. Also cost me 2,000 gold. I'm going to refuse to pay. And let's build up these farms over here. Proper irrigation. It's fertile soil, so it's going to make quite a lot of money. Let's get those monks moving north. I think as soon as the monks arrive, yeah, I might have the monks move as far as possible with the general, and then we'll declare war on the Tozawa, and we'll save that conflict for the turn after. The unrest is dropping, and clan repression is going to go up. The unrest is dropping. They don't have any unrest because they have a huge garrison. Unrest is dropping. Unrest is dropping. Cool. So yeah, you do have to pay more attention to your taxes. You can't just leave them on normal and just expect your lands to be fine. Because what will end up happening is unrest will just mount to a point that you have to exempt the province from tax, and then you're losing a large amount of your income. Or you'll have a revolt constantly because public order will you'll never be able to keep public order in check. Now, monks and shrines and Metsuke and that sort of thing all do help keep unrest down, but it's all a lot of... you have to invest a lot of infrastructure in getting large urban towns to have low unrest and also and still have normal or high taxes. So I tend to prefer keeping lower taxes in the game. It also helps with town growth. Oh, we got a new heir. We got a Mogami Yasunobu. Nobu. Well, more heirs never hurts. Right, let's combine the forces, and we will march on the Tozawa clan next turn. I could declare war on them and let them attack the castle. That is also an option. But I'm not sure I want to do that right now. Upgrade this market. Does that? Oh, it consumes more food to get that market. Oh, that's something we can't afford to do just yet. How long is that farm going to take to build up? 2 turns? So in theory I could unlock this and build another samurai house, or I could build something here, but that would cost me more food. Let's end the turn. And we're going to need the spare food to feed Kakunodate Castle, because it doesn't look like they'll be able to... Well, they probably can feed themselves, but they might not, and I don't want to suddenly just go into... Because obviously research in the agricultural technologies provides you with free food. So it's very likely that they're actually just subsisting off of the free food that they have from the technologies. Especially since they built a sake farm, which doesn't provide near as much food. Provides just lots and lots of monies, and by a lot of money I mean it provides a lot of money, a lot of money. But we'll find out. Let's see. Does Tozawa clan have any allies? No, they do not.
I have.
We're going to declare war on the Tozawa clan. Now we could reach their army. Or we could try and ambush them. No, we can't. We can't try and ambush them. No, is unrest going to increase here? No, it's not. Okay, that's fine. We're just going to block the pass so that they have to fight us if they want to get to our lands. Which I fully expect them to want to fight us, and I think we'll be able to beat them. We have a very high level general, and we're lacking on cavalry. They might have more cavalry than us, but I think they'll probably end up using their general a bit on the reckless side, so should be fine. I could build this. It's going to cost 3,000 gold to build a blacksmith there. I don't want to build a samurai encampment just yet. Again, I'm just not sure of my food. Also, building the pastures in Minato Castle is going to take the food away from it. So, yeah, it's going to take the food away from that province. It does make the cavalry a lot better though, so it's worth doing. Okie dokie. We're going to get the secret police next turn, and then we can probably work on researching either the better samurai, or maybe just better logistics. I think we'll grab advanced weapons, because that does give us access to the Tetsubo Yamabushi as well. It does also increase our unit's defense. So let's end the turn and see what the Tozawa clan's got in store for us. They do have, now this is something I have considered, that they do have a dojo. So it's very possible that they have a large amount of samurai in their army. I hope they don't, but they might. And if they do, we're going to have a bad time. But we'll see. We won't have a bad time. I should think we'll still be able to beat them. But it might be a bit difficult. There we go, here's Tozawa clan. So they're attacking us with... Okay, they do have some samurai, but not very many. Their army is mostly militia, so I think we're okay. They do have more men. We'll see if we can win this battle. I think we can fight this battle before the end of the episode. But if they send a second army, then we'll save that till next time. Okay, there's not much terrain to be able to use. It's quite flat land. On the plus side, the Yamabushi archers we can use in melee, and they're not bad. So we've got some like hybrid units, not as good as the in Master Strategy, the Chosokabe are actually really funny because they get all their samurai have bows. So even their like Yari samurai and their Katana samurai have bows as well. They're quite short range. Like they're not great archers, but your entire army is basically archers. And I think the Sataki clan, all of their veteran samurai and their samurai get Teppo, so like their entire army is just a gun line, but can also fight. So it's quite. There's a lot of interesting decisions about. Oh yeah, the Yamabushi got Kisho training, haven't they? So they can just. Right. Let's think about this. Let's get our archers together. Let's get our gunmen together. Line our guns up. I think we'll want them in loose formation. And we want to fight them in flatland, ideally, to make most use of our guns. I think we'll line our men up probably like so. That's roughly where they're going to be coming from. And we've got all our archers here. They can just pop up behind the gunmen. Let's move the Yamabushi out the way for now. Let's get our Katana Retainers and our Katana Ashigaru in one group. Let's move the generals right over there, so they're out of the way. Let's move our Yaris like so. They're going to make our main battle line. In fact, if we have the Retainers on one flank, and so we put the Retainers there, we'll have the veteran Yaris on this side. Actually, I'll have the Retainers on that side because it's more likely where their army is going to be. I'd rather have the Retainers, the main force. I have our 3 Yarashgari. We'll have the Katanas ready to engage in melee. Have our generals. Now the Katana Key, I want to like probably flank around with them. I might actually go put them in this wood over here, so they can come out and attack their archers once they leave their front line. But our Yamabushi, now we can use these guys pretty interestingly because they do have Kisho training. So our Yamabushi can hide up in this forest here, and once the enemy army's engaged us, these guys can just run around and just start butchering their back line. Should be pretty good. The archers, though, now I could use them to skirmish the enemy army because they have 140 range. So if I were to put them like up on this hill here, it's very likely they'd be able to do some considerable damage and then just run back to our lines because they're very quick. These are very quick units. So I think we're gonna skirmish them back to our front line. All right, let's get these Katana Key up here. Here's the enemy army. Let's get our archers tagged to shoot some people. There's a Yumi Ashigaru there. Now I can stealth these guys, and then they'll... because they can shoot whilst hidden. So as we get in range, I will stealth them. Get them to run. Just quickly stealth them. So they're now stealth. Run them back up onto this hill. Yari Ashigaru, Yari Militia. They're still in stealth. So as you can see, we got some good shots. We killed about 40 of their Teppos and another 15 odd men there, and they have absolutely no idea where that came from. We're going to move our Yamabushi, which they're now spotted again, but that means they'll be running at full speed. So they're going to rush over to the woods there, hopefully disappear again. These Teppos need to move slightly forward actually, because they're right, so their cavalry are moving up the right flank, which I thought they might do. That's okay, because our cavalry are free to do as they please on this flank. Oh, if they're not spotted because they're out of the woodland. Okay, we've got our units now firing. Let's inspire our units.
Hidden units have been discovered, my lord.
Hidden units discovered. Let's march on their general.
Our general is in grave danger, my lord.
Have our Yari retainers try and cut them off. Move the Teppos back. Yumi retainers can fight there. Let's get the Teppos out. The retainers are perfectly fine as melee units. Oh, Naginata militia, our guys won't have any issue fighting. Let's get the cavalry around the flank. Katana Ashigaru can move up to help the Yamabushi here. Move in on their general. So the Yamabushi are just dealing with their units no problem. Even the archer Yamabushi are just cutting them to bits. So. Let's get our general around the flank here. Give our guys a quick rally. How's the fight over this side? The general is currently pinned down. Yari Ashigaru are taking casualties. These Yumi Yamabushi we've got to pull out because I don't want them to take that much damage. Charge these veteran Yaris. Get the Katana Ashigaru to charge up there. Get these Yamabushi back into the fight. Yumi retainers took some casualties, but that's fine. Right, broken them. Daimyo's finished routing that unit. Come down to attack these Yari militia. Some Naginata units that are broken there, but they're not shattered, so we need to chase them. General's wavering, he's not dead yet. Those Katana retainers are taking a bit of a time to kill. Alright, so broken some militia. Our general's charging another regiment. I think the battle's going pretty well. Try and break a few more of these units that have... or shatter a few more of them. Their general's shattered as well. They've lost another general unit. These Katana Kiev now, retainers have now shattered as well. Pull these guys back down. Where's our general? General's finishing, just shattering a few of these guys. A pretty messy battle, but I think we're going to win it. Yeah, okay, their front line's shattered now. Let's just push the advantage. Let's get our general to just charge out that way. Teppo retainers, fuck it, charging the flank.
fatigued, my lord, and some must rest. My lord, a glorious victory will soon be yours.
Let's finish routing some of these men. I think the rest of their army's in flight. Good stuff. Now, that was quite a costly battle. We've still got plenty of men left that can do some good killing, especially if the rest of their second army is Ashigaru. If the rest of their second army is like samurai, we're going to feel real bad. We'll probably have to rout, or well, not rout, we'll have to flee back to the castle.
The men are fatigued, my
Let's
lord,
try and get rid of
and
these
some must
Teppo
rest.
Ashigaru because they can't retrain those if they lose them. We don't care too much about militia, but we'll try and kill as many as we can. Let's get these Yumi militia. I want to get rid of the archers if possible, and anything that's not militia, you know, the Ashigaru. I think that's about everything. Oh, there's a huge unit of Yumi Ashigaru that's going to escape by the looks of it.
The men are fatigued, my lord, and some must rest.
Okay, we got quite a few of them. I don't think we'll catch. No, we're not going to catch those Yumi Ashigaru. I think that's the end of the fight there. Costly victory. Yeah, I'd say that was pretty costly. But we did pretty good. Because, again, with Master Strategy, you can't... Battles tend to be a lot less static compared to normal Shogun 2, because you can't rely on Yari walls, because your Yari Ashigaru don't have them. You can research them, but they're nowhere near as effective as they used to be in Shogun, in base Shogun 2 Total War. Like, Yari walls are still very good, but they're not as powerful as they used to be. So you can't... Battles are a lot more fluid. You chase your opponent around a lot. Pyrrhic victory, I wouldn't call that Pyrrhic victory, I'd still say we went almost double casualties to them. And I think we killed some of their main generals' army. Oh, that's a lot of samurai, yeah, fuck that. Let's flee that battle. Get back to Minato Castle. Oh, they're going to attack Minato Castle. Okie dokie. Well, our numbers are dwindling, but they got a lot of cavalry and a lot of Ashigaru militia. So you know what militia are like in a siege, and you know what cavalry are like in a siege. So they only really have like 3 actual good units for a siege. The rest are all pretty eh. So I still think our odds are pretty good, but we'll see. Right, that'll be the end of the episode. It's been me, Chaff Commander Coffee. Thanks for watching. And in the next episode we will defend Minato Castle from the Tozawa clan as they counterattack after our victory on the fields outside their castle. Alright, goodbye till next time.